Okay, loot llamas are one of the most overpowered finds in Fortnite, and some people don't know if you change a couple settings, you could find them like this. Yeah, these are 10 Fortnite mistakes only noobs make and how to fix them. We'll teach you the llama trick later in the video, but our first new mistake talks about rotating.
Number 10, fastest rotation trick. Noobs like me usually have a pretty hard time with rotating. Not all of us can think of some master plan to escape the storm, especially if it's a triathlon away. I usually just pull out my snowy flopper and try to ice skate to the zone. Whee! But it never works! I just end up penguin sliding down a mountain into the storm. Oh!
And that's why pros learn a lot about rotating, and this trick is one of the best out there in Season 5. Of course, pros know that a snowy flopper is more than just like a quick white heel. It's also the best rotation tool in Season 5. If the zone is far away, they'll simply build a ramp, pop their snowy flopper, and then build backwards ramps down to gain some insane speed. Combining this with some peppers and then an impulse grenade could let you go over 250 meters in 14 seconds. I mean, the storm isn't even close to being a problem for these guys. They got bigger problems to worry about, like our next mistake at number 9.
Harpoon shockwave combo. You've heard the saying, if you give a dog a bone, but if you give a noob a harpoon, well then you're in for a real treat. Ah, the harpoon. It's so easy to just spam builds. People call it cheap, but it breaks builds in one shot. The beauty of the harpoon is that it's so random that even sweats will freeze up when they get hooked. Not because they're afraid, but because you literally just pulled the rug out from underneath them.
Okay, well, a pro would see noobs doing this and shake their head. Instead, we know just how versatile harpoon guns secretly are and never waste our chance with one. Especially because of a secret trick that leads to a guaranteed kill every single time. So a pro will shockwave themselves into the air and then quickly use their harpoon gun to pull the enemy up with them and get an easy elimination. It is so uncounterable and it's just so satisfying. You gotta try it. And the secret tricks don't end there with number 8, the dually tricks.
In Season 5, us noobs adore the exotic weapons, and we end up with no gold every game because that's all we spend it on. Now, that may seem unepic, but once I get my hands on an exotic, I feel unstoppable. Even if we usually rush the first person we find and lose it after getting eliminated almost immediately. Whoops.
Of course, a pro, and really anyone with common sense would know that not every single exotic weapon is a winner. Although the noobs aren't entirely wrong on this one, there are a couple of exotic weapons that could give some huge advantages. And one of those is the dualies. Right now, these things currently have the most abilities of all the exotics. Like, not only do these things have an anti-gravity effect that makes you move faster, but you could even use them to avoid fall damage from literally any height. Pros also quickly learn that combining these with the shockwaves make for some literally insane plays that send you flying. But now let's move on to number 7.
Sand tunneling trick. Okay, us noobs can be pretty attached to sand tunneling since Epic added it back to the game. I've been using this feature non-stop. I mean, it takes 3 AR shots to get us out of the ball. You think I'm not gonna camp? Well, that is where you're wrong, sir, because I will be burrowing my way to the closest third party. Yeah, respect the mohill.
Well, a pro wouldn't waste any of their time doing that. In fact, they don't really waste their time spraying people under the sand. People, you gotta play it tactically. If you see someone in a sand tunnel, they'll just use a harpoon gun or a sniper rifle to get them out of that thing instantly. Not only do these two things pop people out of the sand, but they also even do damage to them. Like I said, a quick snipe or harpoon will take even the most annoying noobs out of the sand. And if you wanna keep these sneaky tricks up, wait for number 6, instantly find players trick.
One problem I have with Fortnite as a professional noob is that it's really hard to find people because all they do is play the outskirts of the map and rotate. So we came up with our own trick. We will use a ripfish and stay in the air until someone shoots at us. Then we dive down, AR spam them, and hope for the best. It works flawlessly. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, that's not a good idea, noobs. Sure, using a rift fish is a good idea, you're a step in the right direction, although a pro would use the rift fish in combination with another fish for an insane hidden trick. Listen to this. Eat a thermal fish right before eating the rift fish, and it would give a huge thermal vision over the entire map. So while you're gliding around, it's super easy to spot players as little orange dots. It's one of the coolest tricks out there right now and a great way to find players quickly. But for some nostalgia, you're probably gonna want to hear about number 5.
Double pump trick. Look, us noobs haven't been playing Fortnite very long. In fact, I've never heard of a quote-unquote double pump. First I've heard of it. If you're talking shotguns, you must be sorely mistaken for the tac. Oh no? Oh yes! We as noobs exclusively spam the tac for some juicy elims. On AI, that is. That we don't actually kill real players.
Believe it or not, the double pump was real, and most of us know that, even if newer noobs to the game haven't heard of it. If you didn't know, it's basically when you bypass the dreaded shotgun delay and it gives you some huge damage. And it's more than just real, it's back. We mentioned earlier that pros know exactly which exotic weapons to use for an advantage, and that's still true for this trick. Pros know that the new exotic double barrel shotgun can actually be combined with any other shotgun in the game for an easy double pump. So if you get your hands on the new double barrel, you can't miss the opportunity to double pump. It's super fun, OP, and probably will get you some extra wins.
But now, for number 4, the secret boat rocket trick. Us noobs love boats. I mean, love. We can just spam unlimited rockets on these things, and sometimes I'll even just get in a boat from the second I land on the island. It's fun to rocket people around me from the get-go, and third party from so far away you don't even know where the missile came from, even if I do get sniped.
Well, pros are aware of a super secret OP trick that makes boats even more effective than they currently are. You noobs are gonna absolutely love this because there's an unlimited rocket trick that lets you fire rockets with no cooldown. To do this, just jump in a boat and fire the rocket. And as soon as you fire the rocket, jump out of the boat and back in. And then you just fire another rocket instantly. I don't know why, but it breaks the cooldown of the boat and lets you spam the heck out of people. You now have yourself a noob's wet dream. But now a classic noob mistake is number 3, the 0-point box blink trick.
The 0-point shards are some of the noobs' favorite things to use in the desert. We made the most of them when sand tunneling was disabled, and they are phenomenal. We usually just pop a shard and start zipping around wherever we can. It makes us harder to hit and confuses enemies.
Alright, noobs should know that they ain't confusing anybody. A pro would know that these shards give you a way bigger advantage when they're used correctly. We will instead use the shards to phase into people's boxes and get easy eliminations. To do this, just make your opponent's wall weak while having a shard equipped. Then just pickaxe it and blink through. Once again, another effortless way to phase in and get a quick kill regardless of their ping.
But now for number 2, secret llama trick. When us noobs drop into the match, it's really hard to pick a place to drop. Sometimes we'll land safely, but most of the time we just hot drop. Although that usually ends with us getting eliminated immediately. It's rough. It's tough, okay?
I told you guys I would tell you about it. Here's some tips to help you with it. A pro knows that materials and heals are the absolute key to any great game of Fortnite. So a ton of us use what's called the secret llama trick to start most of our games with a guaranteed llama. To do this, you have to go to your colorblind settings in the menu and turn on the try to nope settings. I think that's how it's pronounced. Anyways, change the values from 0 to 8 and your game will look a little different. But the trick changes the vibrance of grass and makes the purple and pink on the llama stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, look at it. The trick is actually pretty insane for tournaments or when you just want a great and easy start to your match with tons of mats and heals. But before we get to our number 1 mistake, here's some honorable mentions with the safest healing trick.
If we're low on health, noobs like me will usually just sit at any old campfire, wait to heal up, and hope no one takes us out. Sometimes we get lucky, but it's not the safest way for us to heal up mid-game.
Well, us pros know 2 different tricks that guarantee we get an entire campfire heal without taking any damage. First trick is simple. We drive a car next to a campfire, light it, jump back in, and switch seats constantly while healing to guarantee no one hits us. And the second trick is even easier. You just sink under the sand right after lighting a campfire. It helps to make sure no one can see us while using it, but make sure to stay moving so you don't get sniped or harpooned like we taught you earlier. It works every time guaranteed until it doesn't work, so yeah.
Honorable mention number 2, exploiting NPCs trick. Sure, we love exotic weapons, but the NPCs we buy them from are pretty cool too. We'll just browse these guys' selections, buy 3 pistols or something, and go rush the closest person we find.
Okay, pros know exactly which NPCs are the best use of our gold, then we just don't spend it carelessly. For example, Bandolier outside of Flush Factory gives us a quick purple charge. If you're a shoddy person, Burgerhead at Logjam upgrades shotguns for super cheap. I mean, if you have no shield, just kill any NPC on the map for a free stack of minis. And if you want to start a game with Max Wood, head to Kyle at Weeping Woods. What I'm trying to say here is a pro knows exactly where all the good NPCs are and what kind of advantages they get each game. No wasting gold, it's all tactical.
But now for our final noob mistake with number 1, 0-point trick. Look, even us noobs know about the 0-point. We all know that you can land in it for some free shield, but the problem is that everyone is always in a frenzy after landing, and we get destroyed if we even try to land there.
Don't worry, because pros know the best way to win frenzies like this is to be the first one with a weapon. So there's a trick for the 0-point, and it's really easy and special. If you only touch the bottom of the 0-point while gliding in, it shoots you straight into the ground faster than anyone else. It's perfect for getting the potential triple chest spawns at the bottom before everyone else. Then when you get the loot, just get a 0-point shard and take out those enemies for free elims.
This has been Mistakes Only Noobs Make. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like this video right now for a free bush costume. Click the annotation on screen right now.
This has been Tommy.
And this has been Sam.
And you're watching Top 5 Gaming.